Today we're going to draw the seagull. So as I'm looking at his shape, I want to get his shapes down on the paper first, and I see a sort of a pointed oval for his body. Do you see that? So I'm going to start with that. So it's sort of pointed on the ends. You know what this reminds me of is like a fish, doesn't it? Sort of looks like a fish's body, doesn't it? The way his head goes up like that. Something like that. So there's his body. Now I'm going to add the wings. So the shape of the wing, this one, it comes back about this far, and then I have a curve. You see that curve? And you could even see it's sort of like a box. And then it's going to shoot out like that. I'm going to hold this one down so I can move this over to in my camera range better. There we go. Okay. Now we can see this a little better. All right, so I'm going up like this, up for the wing. I'll probably have to go farther, but I'm just getting him on paper. And his tail's going to come out like this. I see that shape. His feet are back here. He's going to have a beak up here. And then this other wing, if you notice, it comes out near his head, then out of the side of this curve. So this wing's going to come out sort of like that, roughly. Okay, so I have the shapes on there. Now I'm going to go back through and pay more attention to the lines so I can make them look a little more believable. Okay, so I'm going up here. Remember, if we're like a little ladybug crawling along this line, I'm going to go up here, go to here. I have this curve, and I have part of the curve here. I have some curve. I think it needs to be curvier. I'm going to give it a little bit more of a curve. Curved line there. And now I'm going to shoot straight up. There we go. Like that. And then he's got these white feathers coming in, sort of like that. And as I come down, I'm going to come down a little bit. I have another curve where some of the feathers end. And then I'm going to follow the lighter edge there. And mine's a little bit curvier than it should be. It should probably come more like this. I'm going to come down to the tail. And the tail goes out, and that curves ever so slightly. He's got a lot of curves in this bird, doesn't he? Coming back in like that. These are his black feet right there. And there's they look like almost a triangle shape, almost. Right there. And I'm going to come down. This part of his body, I think I formed pretty well. Come back up for his beak. And his beak sort of goes like that. Something like that. I think I made it a little bit fat there. Okay, and looking where his eye is, if I come straight back, the center of his beak, that's his mouth, be right about there in the center, and his eye is above that, so his eye is right about, say right about there for his eye. Then we have all these little feathers in the wing. So I'm going to go back here, and I see there's this darker area here, that darker part of the wing. I can mark that off. Oh, next wing. Okay, I come up his head. I'm going to come up a little further because I'm looking at this distance. See, this is very short. Mine's very long, so I made this too far out. So I'm going to change this. Now I'm curving up this way. Curving up this way. About like there. And if I want to see how high I should make it, here's the bend in this wing. And look, that one is underneath the bend where it ends. So if this is the bend in my wing, this one needs to end before that. So we're seeing the side of the wing, what we're seeing there. And I think it comes back to a good place. Okay, so now I have them on there a little more exactly. I can add a few details to him. Let's see, I'm going to get rid of these extra lines. I don't need these anymore. Don't need this one. Don't need that one. So he's on there pretty well. I'm going to get rid of some of these extra lines. Okay, and now I can just go back. Oh, this is extra. And add a few details. He's white, so I probably won't shade him in too much. Although, you know, I could shade the lower part of him. So on a scrap piece of paper, let me grab a scrap piece of paper here to show you. If I take this scrap piece of paper, and I could give him some shadows, I have a nice dark 4B pencil. 4B is a very soft, is very soft graphite, which is why I can get this so dark on there. Then I can pick it off of there, and I do see that the whole lower part of him is shaded, isn't it? So I could shade that in if I wanted. Even though he's white, the bright white feathers are on the top where the sun is hitting. I could shade in the bottom part of him. And his tail is in the shadows. And actually, this wing has a lot of shadows. Or I could just leave it white, since he's a seagull. Color in the feet. Could color those in. Color in the eye. And although it's hard to see on this picture, I'm going to leave a little catch light in his eye. His beak is dark. I'm going to sort of shade that in a little bit. And I see that it actually comes back a little bit like that. If I don't want it that dark, I can go back and erase a little bit of that. Let's see, bring that down. Oh, on this wing, he's very dark up here because that is gray. Part of his wing is gray. But I can tell that sort of goes something like this, and then he's got all these feathers that are showing up over here. These are all the feathers. If I could shade those in, draw those in, shade them in. Just leave this edge very white. On this wing, you can see individual feathers there. You can see them coming like this. And then you could also shade that in. So he's a fairly simple shape, but his wings are a little tricky. But when you look very closely at the shape and where these lines are coming in, it does make a little more sense. So this wing actually would be like going like that. And I could color these in very dark up here. And there's our seagull. We could even put him over the water. Put him over a little bit of ocean. Because I think he's going to go catch a fish. And there's our seagull. I'll see you tomorrow.